Welcome everyone. Let's start our lesson 4. Today lesson will go through our LO4 learning outcome 4. As you couple of you know me, my name is Anjum Satha. Please, if you have any question, drop me email anjum@ukversity.co.uk and I'll try my best to get back to you as soon as possible. Today lesson LO4, which is be able to communicate the taxation information to all relevant stakeholders. So today lesson is the basic is tax affairs to communicate with the various stakeholders. So what is meant by stake? Stake is mean anyone who has any interest in the business is called stakeholders. So we have two types of people, very important. Shareholders. Shareholders mean anyone who has any interest. They are also known as a stake. And any other stakeholders also we need to look around their interest as well, such as the customers, suppliers. These, really we need to be look around everyone interested in. Okay, so we'll do a bit recap, what we learned during our previous lessons. We had a discussion about PPCIO, which is mean popular people chat in office or offices. So we discussed about the 5 professional code of ethics. We had a discussion about professional behavior, professional competencies, and due care competencies and capabilities. We discuss about confidentiality. We have integrity and objectivity. These are the 5 professional code of ethics. And the ethics mean the moral principle. Those are very important in sustainability of any company. Okay, so we discuss about parent, subsidiary, and associate, and we discuss about capital gain tax. We had a discussion about saving. We had a discussion about VAT, value-added tax, in the previous lesson. So we went through the VAT schemes. So we discuss about VAT, we discuss about NI, we discuss about personal allowance, we discuss about non-saving incomes. So all these we had a discussion in the previous lesson. Okay, so today is, so just, the question, what do you know about stakeholders? Anyone please from the group? Okay, Okay, welcome. Good afternoon, Saidi. Okay, how are you keeping? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Yes.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you. So today we are looking at LO4, which is about stakeholders, and we'll go through the tax planning, ethics, and stakeholders.
Right.
That's the key. It's a basic topic, but they set up in the learning outcome. So we have to go through, which is
right.
less concern tax calculation, but is a communication with the various stakeholders or tax affairs.
Right. Can I just ask you a few questions if it's all right, just before we start?
Yes, sure, please.
Right. I really apologize due to my personal reason. I couldn't attend the last week lesson. However, I did send the message, regarding that, I missed the lesson. So if it's possible, I can get the notes which you have given it last week.
No problem. But I'll do enough lesson. I'll send you the recording as well the notes.
So is it possible somewhere I can go and see all the recordings or anything?
Yes, I can send you. It should be available our Moodle page all as well.
Right. Okay.
And other than that, I can send you via email as well or via WhatsApp.
Right. And I was also checking, the assignment brief. I couldn't find the 2 things. One is there is no deadline for it. Is that right? Because it's going to take another month and a half.
Not because we have a lesson next week, assignment discussion, and after 2 weeks, we have to complete normally.
Right.
But we standardize within 2 weeks after the assignment discussion. But if you can't, we are flexible.
Right, because of my work and the other reasons, I need at least month and a half to finish my assignment.
Okay. That's fine. As quickly you finish, we can sign off you. Yes, we can.
Right. And last question is, so there's no deadline, is that right now? Is that
overall no deadline, but better to be complete sooner, and we can.
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully within month and a half, probably I will finish it. The last question is, I was checking the assignment brief. I couldn't find the word limit because the assignment which I've currently made it is almost around 2,000 words.
Okay, and so is the maximum 3,000 is just a guidance meeting the learning outcome. Up to
Right.
3,000 is fine. Of course, as many you want, no problem, but it's a matter of meeting the learning outcome.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Very welcome. Thank you. Okay, thanks for joining. So today lesson really is we'll go through, we already had a discussion about different, the tax rate, personal allowance, capital gain tax. We discussed about ethics in the previous lesson, 5 professional code of ethics. And we had a discussion about capital gain tax. We had a discussion about inherent tax. So 4.1 is a communicate, advise, information, appropriate, the format to all relevant stakeholders. So the word stake is mean interest. Anyone who has any interest in the business is known as stakeholder. Stake mean interest. So there are the number of stakeholders. So in our tax affairs is various stakeholders. That's why the topic is being given in our assignment, and the unit specification really is about stakeholders. So stake mean interest, and it's very important. We have to meet the interest, our business strategies and tax planning. We look the stakeholders interest as well. So keeping in view, of course, tax planning is a legal, which we have to look around in a legal perspective. Classification of the stakeholders. We can classify the stakeholders into internal and external. Internal mean within the company, and external is outside it. So when we look the internal stakeholders, immediately connected stakeholders, or we can say objective, likely to have a strong influence, it's run. So in the internal can be, we can look around the employees, they are quite anxious about the right tax will be deducted, the tax code and the expenses toward their work. We can adjust their codes, and we can look around the managers and directors, the dividend salaries. We have to look around the tax planning perspective, as well as their stakeholders expectation to need to be fulfilled. That's the why internal and external stakeholders. Then we have a connected stakeholder. The stakeholder, those are connected with the organization, because we can categorize them. Shareholders are, of course, shareholders are the owner of the company, and those are very important. We need to meet their expectation. So the shareholders mean anyone who has the investment in. So of course they are entitled the dividend, and we need to be look around the tax element in terms of the dividend, or the our tax return, because dividend we paid after the tax. So because that tax we have to. So then we have a customer. Of course, customer want the cheaper goods. And the VAT we can calculate from the we collect from them, because we work as a tax collector on the behalf of HMRC. Suppliers, of course, on supply and the purchases, we look the suppliers interest. Of course, we pay them VAT, but we can claim back, and the finance providers is the loans. We can look around the cost as well towards. Welcome. Thanks for joining, everyone. Those just joined now. Okay, so external stakeholders. Today the topic is about stakeholders, and external mean outside. Really, we look the community at large. Of course, our tax affairs can be, and the company, then the organization, and the public really want, we pay the tax appropriate, that's, which is our, not like a Facebook, they have a 75 million, but they paid £4,000 corporation tax in a few years back, but they balance the book. So we have to be a lot of legislation change. We have to look around in the legal and ethical perspective as well. The tax should be paid. Then environmental pressure. We have environmental levies, on those every unit 0.79 pence per kilowatts we pay on the gas electricity. And we look, the taxes in terms of those companies are reducing using the renewable. So should be incentive. We have to look around those, the policies as well in the tax perspective. The government, of course, government is really keen to pay the fair taxes, and the trade union, they always, keen to be look around in the welfare of their members, and we need to meet their expectation as well. Okay, stakeholders conflict. Yes, of course, employees want more salaries, shareholders want more dividend, customer want cheaper product. We have to balance. So everyone is a conflict is a different. So like a bonus versus shares, when we have, if we give employees as a bonus of the shares, so what will be happen? The old shareholder, their value of the shares can be dropped, the dividend will be divided. So we have to look around the expectation of every stakeholder, and we have to meet, in a legal perspective. Okay, resolving the conflict. Of course, the conflict is we need a conflict resolution. We have to involve them. There is a mapping models we can look around. In our assignment, we can add, some discussion on stakeholders and mapping, and the mapping document, which will power and interest, metrics, which we look, in a minute. And the stakeholders conflict, we need to be really exercise, we need to be involve them and reduce those conflicts. That's key is involving. So we have law, which is look around the mission of the company, why they are in the business, and they say we treat people like to be treated, we are very transparent, we are very fair. But when we look these in the perspective, but actually sometimes unfortunate, they a lot of companies, they're not paying the correct amount of the correct amount of the shares to the various stakeholders, their interest. So corporate governance is mean how the company is run in the best interest of all the stakeholders and control. Corporate ethics mean moral principle. We need to be look around the moral principle, the child labor. We can look around the fair wages, national minimum wage, and the fair treatment of all the stakeholders. That's very crucial, which we need to be look around. And we have already we mentioned internal, external stakeholders, connected stakeholders. For every stakeholder, we have to categorize. We need to look around their expectation, and we have to meet their expectation accordingly. Then we have a 4.2, note the exemption made and limitation information provided to stakeholders. Stakeholders mean anyone who has any interest. We can provide them annual journal meeting information to the various stakeholders. AGM, we have a once a year, and where we can declare about the profit, dividend, and we need to be notified as well in the company house, all there are accounts. So those we need to be look around in the prospective. Extraordinary meeting, which we can arrange if the matters is quite urgent. We can't wait it. If it's a registered capital, we need to increase, so we can arrange. So when we're looking the effective communication is using the appropriate format, observing the format, always need to be look around the professional style, present technically correct, like debit and credit, or the balance sheet, or the tax return, or VAT, those form clearly represent, and we can communicate with the various stakeholders. So we can look around appropriateness, the image and advertising purposes, and achieving these purposes as the organization objective. Anybody, any question, please, until now? Okay, so please, if anyone would like to ask something, you can. So there are two methods we can look around for effective communication: pass and kiss. The purpose, audience, structure, and style. And kiss is a keep it short and simple according to the audience and their understanding. The communication we need to be effective. Professionalism and corporate image. That's legibility, neatness, demonstrating competency, demonstrating the regard of the needs and the user, and displaying the good design. That's also very important. House style guidance, corporate logos, and we need to look around the special design stationaries, and all is very important, which we need to be look around in term of the perspective. So those are very crucial, which we need to be look around the various stakeholders and users and the corporate image. Business language, of course, informal and formal communication. More is a formal is a structured. We need to be look around the structured communication. Structure is very important, which we need to be look around the interest of the various stakeholders, and we have to meet the stakeholders interest. uh, and a formal, informal, of course, any like terminologies or the text explanation, those we need to be present in the notes form as well. So form and the method of communication, of course, we can communicate with internal and external, with the colleagues and the line managers, with the external customer and suppliers. The method can be telephone, voice, a meeting, letters, and of course, first thing we can maybe look around online nowadays, more digital, and our taxpayer, because it's going to be digitalized, and we need to be look around those perspectives. So normally in the letterhead, so please, if we need to be write anything, it's just a generic information, not required. It's the assignment is more focused on the stakeholders and the communication, but the form of communication can be in letters, in emails, and the formal letters can be written. Of course, we can look around the dates, address, salutations, really, and then of course, we can look around the commentary, signatures, your title, that can be look around. The reports, of course, the title, summary, introduction, finding, conclusion, and recommendation. those we can look around. Informal, the title and the date and introduction, finding and conclusion and recommendation can be, but more we focus in our communications are the tax affairs with the various stakeholders. We need to be meet their expectation, and we need to be provide them true and fair information. So one of our ethics is objectivity and integrity. Integrity is honesty, and objectivity is unbiased information, all true and fair. So emails, of course, we can do emails as well. We can use the emails communication. So please, that's quite good. We have a Data Protection Act, GDPR, which is 2018. We need to be follow, and we need to be look around the blind carbon copy. So BCC, please, if you're sending one emails to various people, and because if you do the CC, that goes to everyone. Because everyone can see other people email. But if you want to inform them, as you already passed the message to the third party, you can do the BCC. Yes, blind carbon copy. Yes, that's is crucial, which we can in keeping in view of the GDPR, general data protection, and the tax purposes as well. The information need to be. So of course we can do the facts. Of course headers. We can look around from, to, date, facts, numbers, and the pages. How many pages you're doing in the facts? Of course, nowadays fax is not a lot of usage, but mostly we move to the, of course, emails and other digital tools. Okay, 4.3 is access, non-taxation factors applicable to the stakeholders. Stakeholders, they need the tax information financial, but they need also non-financial information. Non-financial is the company's business plan for future, CSR, corporate social responsibility, what the company is doing towards the best image of. So we need to be look around if we follow good communication with the stakeholders, the culture with we need to be develop the norms and the values in our organization with the stakeholders. The mass communication, of course, we can look around target to the stakeholders. We can look around the message to every stakeholders in the structure. We can look around the digital and digitalize all the information should be passed, and we need to be look around and like the meetings or discussion, those we can pass. Internal communication, when you do within the companies, the message within an organization between managers, employees, and across the function and departments. And we can look around face to face at the remote and spoken, and including the presentation, briefing, meeting, conversation, teleconference, emails, letters, memos, all discussion which we can do. The review the internal communication. Internal mean within the company, you have to look around the method of communication is effective. You look around the representing the image of the organization. You look the affair of the organization. Those are true. Integrity is one of the ethics principle which we need to be select. So select the right the delivery channel, because which channel is using, like maybe that channel is not. So if you're doing with the government, so of course nowadays digital online, we can think about if you're doing in the newspapers and others, of course in the shape of the reports, you can show the tax, how much we submitted and in your financial report. So that's you can use different factors, and the channel used depends on the range of the factors. We can look around the size, you look around the business, how much your big operation you have in the business, you look around the time scale, you look around the cost, and then you can decide which communication is the better for. For example, all the staff need to be publicly informed the change of the strategic direction of the company. Any direct, are you moving the head office, one country to other country? Like AGM meetings, need to be informed to all the shareholders, even the stakeholders we can, because nowadays the model is a stakeholder wealth maximization. That's the key, really we need to be look around. Communicating with the mission, value, and the strategy. Of course, mission, why you're in the business, be in where you want to see, and the values, like we treat people like to be treated, and you set the values, and these need to be embedded. And the tax planning, we have to not contradict with our own values, which we be aware of your legal responsibility. It's our legal responsibility to inform all the stakeholders. If you're 50 or more percent people working in the organization and turnover, so we need to be look around the audit requirement accordingly. Those need to be audited account and affair. ensure, the consistent communication and procedures, consistent, so in your report, communication should be consistent, like every 12 months, the financial reports. It's not mean 1 year you make 18 months, and consistent your tax return, and consistent your communication with the various, the stakeholder, those involved, you deal with the business. And of course, earlier we said as well, tax planning is illegal, but you can inform them why you're doing it, what the purpose is, but we look in the ethics and the moral principle, correct, in the light of the 5 professional code of ethics. Communication, business performance, of course, performance when we're looking in the 3 areas, in time, in cost, and quality, and we can communicate the performance this year, how much dividend been paid, how much profit been made, how much tax we paid, how much, the credit, we've been given to the people. And that's, really we need to be look around in the light of our own, the procedure and the performance, in light of our performance metrics, our industry averages can be used, or the ratios as well, which can be used for the performance. Of course, we can arrange the meeting with the various stakeholders, and we can discuss about information sharing, information gathering, problem solving, decision making, and planning, strategic. And for these, meetings are very important, and like AGM and various other meeting which we can do with the various stakeholders. Okay, so when we do the meeting, it can be problem solving meeting, decision making meeting. Like we want to be move around the center, or we want to move the head office. Why we moving one country to other? Like pharmaceutical company, some move to the Ireland because there is a tax rate is a 10% corporation tax instead of 19%. So we have to look around instead of 22. Of course, then the US also, and here in the UK, corporation tax has been reduced in the past, even used to be 30%. So we have to look around, and that information we have to pass to all the stakeholders and the purpose of it, and we need to look around the local legislation. Structure and the role of the meeting, of course, you have to look around the clearly formal, informal. You can, of course, include the guest speaker sometime, showing the tax affairs to the people, and you have an agenda of the meeting and the timing of the meeting. Those are very important. Like, the financial statement should be prepared within 90 days of the year end, that's, and the tax affairs and the returns supposed to be highlighted and reflected in our accounts as well. So those are very crucial, which we need to be look around in the light of ethics and moral principle. That's, is quite crucial, which we have to do. Okay, then I included, please, the quiz. If you want to set up, your Kahoot and you want to play it, you can do the Kahoot at the end. And other than that, I included few links for you, please. It's good to be look around at some extra resources you have there. But if you want to find the stakeholders, what is meant by stake? Stake mean interest. So as I mentioned few times, please. So what you need to do, if anything you want to look around the stakeholders, what you can do, please, in the Google, if you type the word stakeholders, yes, and next to that, if you write the word Kaplan, Kaplan is a publisher, and you can find the chapter of the books. Yes, where you can find a lot of example about the stakeholder analysis, internal. So a lot of our slides is embedded these resources in our slides as well as the sources, Kaplan and the various others. So stakeholders mapping and stakeholder analysis. So today our topic was stakeholders and type of stakeholders, and why stakeholders we need to be meet their expectation, and we have, moral and ethics to meet the expectation of the stakeholders in one of our learning outcome, which is LO4 is all about the stakeholder. Anybody, any question, please? Anyone, any question? Hello.
Oh, sorry, no, thank you.
Okay.
Apart from that, just need to. Are you going to send the notes now, or are you going to email us?
What I can share with you now.
If you can share it now, because that's what happened last time. Soon as the screen time off, it just got off. I couldn't download any after
Okay,
that.
no problem. I'll share on the WhatsApp as well.
That would be great.
So I can share on the WhatsApp. I can share on individual emails as well later on.
Individually, yeah, that would be great. Thank you very
So
much.
I can send you separate book on the stakeholders.
Great. Thank you.
That's the examples for your assignment purposes.
Please.
Okay, so thanks for attending today lesson. Next lesson is very important, which will be about assignment discussion, and which will recap everything, whatever we learn in the last 4 learning outcomes, including today one. And then, of course, you know, if any question you can, if you've never done the assignment before, I will go through the Harvard reference, I'll go through the source, I'll go through the Finance Act, I'll go through the example, how you can embed in your assignment, all will be in our discussion. And before that, I'll send you the template as well, you know, where all the links I'll include in the template. Huh?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. That's all from my end. Anyone, any other question, please? Welcome.
Sorry, the last week lectures I couldn't attend. Could it be shared again on the platform? It doesn't.
Yes, which I'm sharing. I'll share
No
with
problem.
the recording, and I will share with you the slides. Yes.
Okay, lovely. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, if you can do that, please, as well, Hanjum. You know, the learning outcome 1 and 2, the recordings, please.
Yes, sir. Do you have a Moodle access?
Yes, I do.
So if you look on the Moodle, it's
Oh,
all.
is it the same one?
It's a recording available, but I'll share with you the individual recording for these deliveries. Huh?
Oh, okay, okay.
No
All
worries.
right.
I'll locate, you know, I will send you all this afternoon. Huh?
Okay, thanks a lot.
Okay, no problem.
Anyone else, please? Any question? No. Okay. So we'll keep up to here. Hope so. Your end weather is nice today. Enjoy, and I'll speak you next week.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Have a good
All
day.
right. Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.